rotisserie chicken in the Instant Pot Vortex Plus 10 quart air frying oven. The reason I bought it, or one of them, I bought it for the rotisserie function it has. It also has an air frying basket that I have. In fact, this is the third and final video I will be doing on it. I've done French fries, a pork tenderloin, and now a chicken. So, and as a matter of fact, we're using the meter block again that I used on my pork tenderloin. If you could go back and look at that, you can get a little better explanation if you don't know what that is. But it's a wireless thermometer probe. So it being wireless, you can use it on a rotisserie function. So in other words, I can put it in that chicken and it can rotate without any wires. And that eliminates us using their time, although we're going to use their timetable. Their table says up to a 4-pound chicken, by the way. That's 3.99. I mean, I've got the paperwork. I'll show you in a minute. That's as close to 4 pounds as you get. But it calls for, I think it's 30 minutes or so, and I don't really remember. But we're going to use their temperature they asked us set for, but we're not going by their times. We're going to go by temp right here. When that chicken gets what I want, we're going to open it up and cut it off and see how long it took. I'm John Sanders. Welcome to In the Kitchen with Jelly 007. Let's get this show on the road. Okay, so here is our chicken. I've got it rinsed off and it's ready. I will say right here, here's their cooking timetable. And you can see right here that the whole chicken up to 4 pounds. And right here's the bag it came out of. And it is 3.99 pounds. So you don't get much closer than that. The next thing they say is roast feature for 30 to 40 minutes at 380 degrees on the rotisserie spit. All right, well, we're going to go by their temp, that 380 degrees in the roast feature, but we're not going to go by the 30 to 40 minutes. Now, it may turn out that way, but we're using this right here, which is the meter wireless probe, and it works on a lot of things, and I use it quite often, but mainly because this is rotisserie, and it can spin, obviously, with no wires. And the next thing, let's see, here's something. We got to get it on this spit. But once you do, you really do. I know everybody resists it, and I did too for years, but now I use it a lot, and it's butcher's twine. I mean, you're going to have to tie this chicken up. If you don't, the looser that, well, if you put it on the spit and just put it there and let it go, these legs are going to hang down, and they're going to clunk, clunk on the bottom of your oven, and it will eventually, if it don't make you real nervous, it'll eventually tear the chicken up in the oven, you know. So you got to use butcher's twine, and you'll see, I don't really know what I'm doing either. I mean, I'm going to get it tied up once I get it on that spit to keep that from flopping, and I'm going to fix these from flopping, because that's what will happen. Now, we're going to use that Lawry's seasoning. That's our go-to. That is our, for chicken, if you ask me, 9 out of 10 times, that's what I use. But here's another thing that's really good, and I don't have to tell you all this. Y'all know all that. Salt and pepper will work, but lemon pepper, man. But here's the main thing you need to know. Spray it with some type of oil. I mean, I'm using avocado, but you could use olive oil or whatever. Just something to make that kind of adhere or stick to your chicken. So, what I'm getting at is I'm going to get this part started, and then I'm going to try and show you what I do with that string. But it's common sense. You're just trying to keep this from flopping and these from flopping. And if you have to, cut the wings off. They're not that big of a deal. But we're going to get that going, and I'll be right back. Y'all hold up. Okay, total disclosure and transparency here. I'm not a professional chicken tyer. I'm a home cook, and I've got by with this for years. And I use it on beef and stuff sometimes, but this is pretty much my method. Now you can see I've got the wings tied up, and I've got these legs tied where the string's behind that joint, so the legs can't come out, and I've got the spit secured fairly well. Now, I'm going to cut this string off. I just want to show you what I think helps the most when I'm doing it. Is you just pick up the chicken, you lay it wherever you want the string to be, you bring it around. And then just like you're doing the beginning of a shoelace, you just do this 1, 2, 3 times instead of 1, you know, like you do with a shoelace. And it don't matter if you go 4 or something, and then when you cinch it down, it'll kind of stay. Now it's not tight as a, you know, banjo string, but it's tight enough. And then before you wiggle it around much, you just put a knot on top of that. And now you've pretty much, you've tied a knot, you know what I mean? It'll work. I'll put it like that. Now I'm sure there's some professional chicken tires out there that are going to light me up. But hey, I welcome it. Please, if you got a better way or a way that works, please, you know, share it. I'd love for that. Okay, so we've got it roped and tied. I'm going to roll it around and let it kind of hold this avocado oil, which I will say, I would tie it before I put this avocado oil on it, because it'll just make your string slip worse. It won't want to hold as good. So then, and this is what I'm using. I was going to use salt and pepper, but I've decided to use this. This is our favorite. And it's as simple, and you could use salt and pepper, you know, whatever you got. But this right here, I promise you, if you don't think that's, you try it if you ever, you know, when you can. And if you don't think that's the best chicken seasoning you've ever had, you call me out and say I was wrong, but I think you will. It's almost, again, I think I've said this before, it was almost like a secret for years. I used on a lot of things, but chicken especially, a couple other things, but chicken is the #1 thing. So I'm going to let the oven preheat. As a matter of fact, let's see, I think it was 380 degrees it wanted. Yep, whole chicken, 380 degrees on the roast feature. So let's see, let's go roast. It's already at 380. We're going to make it, it doesn't matter what time. It wanted up to 30 minutes. We're going to put an hour just because we're using the probe. So first thing we got to do is get this thing preheated, and that is what I am doing. So that should get it started. You can turn the light on if you need be, but next we got to do is get the probe in there. Then we're going to set that in there with this right here, and we'll be started. Y'all hold up. Okay, so it is preheated. I've got probe 1 because I can. I've got more than one. So I put probe 1 in the breast, and I got probe 2 in the thigh. As a matter of fact, there it spins around, you can see it. Now, I'm not sure how centered I got, well, either one of those, but mainly that thigh. But we're going to see how it does. I got to get it to lock in, and there it goes finally. And it is really close to hitting the bottom of that, but it is running, and it is already doing a rotisserie. I guess I'd already hit rotate. So we'll get the light on, and here in just a little bit we'll see what them temps are doing. Be right back. Okay, so we are right at 22 minutes, and I kind of wanted to show this. If you see that thigh, which if I back it up, you can tell what part of the chicken is touching. There's one of the thighs touching. Now somebody might say, well, he didn't have it centered. Well, if you watch, the other thigh clears by 1/8 of an inch. I don't know how much better I could have centered that chicken. And it looks good, and it's fun to watch. I mean, it's a good looking, it's fun to watch. And here's my temps. 124 internal on the breast, which is #1, and 110 internal on the thigh. Now, this over here, the ambience, I can explain that because we got what, about almost a 50-degree difference. And I think that's because if you look when it comes by, one of the black ends of the probe, here comes the one that's not. That black end is where it gets that reading from, and that's the internal temp of the oven, and it's not touching the chicken. And when the other one comes by, and you'll see in just a second, it is touching the chicken. So that answers that. But and it makes sense that the thigh is a little lower because it takes longer to cook a thigh than it does a breast. And like I said, it's pretty neat to watch. It's kind of fun. But 4 pounds is pushing it, no doubt. Okay, so for the record, we are at 164 and we're looking for 165. I don't know if I've said that all night, But poultry has to be, or chicken has to be 165. We're at 165 in the breast and 155 in the thigh. So I'm gonna let the breast go past just a little bit because this will carry over probably 8 to 9 degrees once I pull it out. Next thing, we're at somewhere around, as soon as that time right there comes back up, 43 minutes. So we're at 43 minutes on a 4-pound chicken, and as you've already seen the situation with it touching the bottom. So, you know, like I said, 4 pounds might be pushing it. But quite honestly, it looks like it's doing okay. We're gonna be okay. Once this right here gets to, I'm gonna say 160, we're gonna pull it when the thigh is at 160, or I'm at least gonna put the Thermapen in at that point. So, be right back. Okay, so we're at 159 on the thigh. We're only 2 degrees high, technically, on the breast. That's okay. And we're at 45 minutes. So what I'm going to do, well, 46 minutes. We're going to open it up. I'm going to do, there happens to be the thigh, isn't it? Maybe that's the breast. But anyhow, we're going to see what it is right here. And that skin was pretty good. It felt pretty good. 160, I got one, but we're going to pull it back to where, and I don't know you can see that, and it's almost impossible for me to ever be able to tell. We're going to pull it back pretty slow from really high out there. We're coming back real slow, 182, 181. Again, hard to hit the centers of everything. In fact, I'm going to set the camera where I can come to this side, and I think that'll help. We'll see. All right, I'm going to go right here. All right, there's a 148, 147. So we may let it run just a minute longer. We want the thigh to get hotter anyhow. Yeah, let's do that. We don't want 147. It'll be, you'd have red juices or not clear juices running. So we're gonna let this go on to about, I'm gonna say 170, and we'll pull it, or we'll check it again. Okay, as you can see, we're at a good solid 170 on the thigh. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open it when it comes around to the probe that's where it was last time, which is right there, which is actually the breast. But we're going to see what we got. And I see 170, 160, the lowest. There we go, 165, 164, which I'm good with, 163, because carryover will take you to, you know, a good bit more than that. We're going to check the thigh right here. 161, 160. You know what? That's probably good. If I drag it back, you can see I hit 160 right there, 161, 160. And I'm good with that because carryover will, you know, take that well past to 165. So I may have to move this camera back just a little bit. Okay, so I want to touch back on what I said a little bit and kind of got out of hand, but there it's already turning around. This one's already at 168 coming down, and this one went to 175 and it's turning around. So, but I want to stress that how important, if you ask me, an instant read thermometer is. My kids all use pressure cookers and these kind of devices now, and I make sure they have one. Now, they don't have a Thermapen, but they got that. Let's see what we got. This is in the thigh, in the thickest part. I got to stop that. It's fixing to run on the floor. But coming up from the thigh, 171, 170, that is plenty good. I guarantee you, when you cut this chicken open, the juices will run clear. And I mean, you can check it in several places, but I got to stop this right here from running in my floor, and it's getting pretty close. So my point is that with this new devices, everybody's cooking with, you know, they're not sure. You know, I can say they're not sure, but you take times. Well, we just went, what, 53? I don't remember. I have to look back. And it called for 30 to 40. Now, I'm not blaming them. I'm not saying anything, you know, they did anything wrong. It's just a 4-pound chicken needed more time than that. In my situation, you know what? Every situation is different, you know. Maybe the chicken was colder than theirs. You know, there's a lot of things, you know, but the main thing, this right here, that's what I'm getting at. An instant read thermometer, and you can keep everybody safe, and you know where your temps are. And even these right here turned out a little bit wrong. I mean, they're not wrong. It's just hard to hit all those places. And even though I got 2 in here, you know, but like I said, you know, on a chicken, around the thigh is usually the most important place. But you see, I just stuck it twice, and I got different numbers. And I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm really not. I'm just saying there's a lot of these. And if this broke right now, if I dropped it and broke it, I would order another Thermapen tomorrow. I love it. I love it. But it's $100, you know, 100 plus. Like 110 or something with tax and all. You can get them a lot cheaper than that. My point is, get one. There's $10 ones out there. And it just some kind, I think everybody doing this does. But anyhow, I'm going to hush. Okay, so I've let it sit for about another 10, 15 minutes. We're going to open her up and see how it looks. And get these strings off. And of course, you want to do that. Just pull them off. It's no big deal. I'll even cut the ones off the back ahead of time right now. And you can see they did a real good job. So that tying is not a big deal. It sounds like it, but it's just not. Now there's the other side of the chicken. And this is going to be good. You wait and see. We're going to cut, if I can do this, reaching across. I just want you to make sure you see that it's done and that everything's good. And the thigh is a place to look. It usually is the place where I knocked the camera around. I was afraid I would. It's a place where if it's not done, this will tell it. And I promise you that is going to be some excellent chicken. And it looks excellent. And I'm sure it's going to be. We're going to tear this just so you can see that it's completely done. And 53 minutes on a 4-pound chicken. And I'm about to put some of that on a plate and eat it. So y'all hold up. Okay, so I'm going to cut some of the breast off. And I'm sure I'll be in front of the camera some. But we're just going to, in fact, we're not going to make it pretty. We're just going to open it up. And you can see that is a well done, perfectly done, honestly. I mean, it might have went 5 degrees higher than what they call for and what maybe target. But take my word, that is not dry, and that is rotisserie chicken. That's what it is. I mean, it's good. Now, it's a few steps involved, but it makes rotisserie chicken, and I think I really do. I think it makes a good one. Worth using for a rotisserie chicken. You're gonna have to learn the times a little bit. Or maybe go with I just go with a 3.5-pound chicken from now on. I 4-pound. Anyhow, I'm gonna put that on a plate and we're gonna taste it, all of us together. I've already have a little bit, but anyhow, I'll be right back. Okay, so here it is, rotisserie chicken at home, and I'm telling you, it is excellent. I've already tasted it. There's no doubt, and it's been a long time since we've been able to do a rotisserie chicken. I don't have anything for it till now. And you saw the whole thing. You saw it, some of the times were off and all that. But you know what? That's why I got a Thermapen. That's why I've got an instant read thermometer. And I think everybody needs one. And I'm not going to preach on it. It's just that you can get them really cheap. And it'll stop you from messing up some food. I mean, it's as simple as that. You have it, you probe it, and if it's not right, you leave it in or you take it out, one of the two. But take my word, this chicken right here is as good. And that Lowry seasoning on it, and not that lemon pepper and Tony Chachere's I use a lot, and I'm not sure I'm saying that word right. I practiced that a lot of times and I still can't say it. But the Lowry's is fantastic. Hell, salt and pepper is good on it. It's just a really good way to cook a chicken. Everybody loves rotisserie chicken. So anyhow, thank y'all all for watching my video. I'll put my big head, you can subscribe and too. And please share. If you can share my video, that helps me a bunch. And there'll also be a video over here for you to watch of mine next, and do that also. Love y'all all. Come back to see me. Thank you, and good night.